Sorry, thank you. Just let me know so I can you guys sit and I'm just to know my life. Thank you, Chase. Yes. It's me, Suleiman Ben Sware, on Facebook Live. Just to come up, dama bëgg a ñëw rek address some insecurity situation bu concern boo xam ne nit ñi am nañ ko si insecurity bi. And as I said, dañ jëloon time off, and di ñaanoon yàlla bu ñu am benn emergency bu tax ñu ñëw on social media to address the situation back home. We bëggoon nañoo recharge the battery spiritually and noppale ko a little bit. But unfortunately, this incident nekk loo xam ne jar nañu comme ñu ñëw address ko. And actually, maa ngi bëggoon a xaar ba Tuesday, and in fact ñëw on the radio am a bigger coverage. But the way things are going at concerns you have ne ñu bari ñu ma or ni ma ne can you just have a pour ma am suma input in it ma ne ma ñëw with a short video, and as you can understand it's dama just jéem a concentrate on the Kanilai issue, but generally it's insecurity concern boo xam ne nit ñi am nañ ko. That's been the feedback bu ma am ne dëkk bi is it secure, are we secure fu ñu nekk, and most of these people rely on lu ma my experiences or lu ma leen dee wax they rely on it, and this is my honest opinion, and it's based on, as usual, intentions are all clear for what it is. They might not be palatable for others, but that's what democracy is. ñun ñëpp duñ mun a d'accord si dara, but we try to give our honest opinion, and the worst of it ñaanuñ yàlla mu am, but we have to say it as it is. And it's not about ñaan yàlla, it's about do the right things or try to avoid these things that happen. Like lu xew rek am na loo xam ne nit a ko sabab, moo tax ñu war a def the right things in doing things for our country. mbokk yi, I will start ne because of lu tax ma ne insecurity bi concerns, because there are a lot of things lu nekk di happen. There are some armed robberies, there are some other things lu nekk di happen. Waaye yëpp si soobee yàlla Tuesday dinañ go into detail. Let's just concentrate because I'm in much time in the Kanilai incident. And before going to the Kanilai incident, maa ngi ñaanal the people that lost their life in the gentleman that lost his life, di ko ñaanal yàlla xaare ko àjjana. And du ma ne condemn naa what happened, and it's a security situation. ñu ngi xaar pour am the other side of the story and not what the minister have said, but it's suñ jógee si waxtaan bi di ngeen understand more, because we don't know the threat bu tax Lee and so on. We have to take it in that sense. Whether it was necessary, was it the required force use, yëpp xamuñ ko. We cannot just sit down, dig one side of the story, and ñu mbuga jël condemn and act boo xam ne we don't have the other side of the story. We have to be careful la ñoo condemn. Before you condemn something, di nga ñaanal nit ki ku réer rek at bakkanam at di nga ne it's not right pour nit ki dee to listen, but circumstance bi we have to have it right. Okay. Before that, naa ñaanal waa London, the 7 people ñoo xam ne seen life des na si at the horrible crime boo xam ne mu ngi happen in London or happen in Manchester. It happened in London last night, and loo xam ne ñun ñëpp am nañ si wàlla, not only because of ñu ngi dëkk Angleterre ñu ngi dëkk London, but am na ku ko def in our name. These are the insecurities yoo xam ne àddina yëpp am na ko. Insecurity mu ngi si àddina yëpp, but it hit home. Su nekkee jege na la, bala nga dee yëg ne insecurity am na rek mu jege la nga bokk si. And bu moo am other places gisuñ ko, but xet na am na suñ kër, am na Gambia, am na London, am na Manchester, and these are our places laal nañu. But rawatina ne it's in our name, te xam nañ ne du ñun nekkuñ ne support nañ ko and so on, but ñu war responsible and do the right things su yi amee. But focus back to Gambia. The scenario ne am na incidents yu nekk yu bari di dem on loo xam ne insecurity la, and nit ñi am nañ concerns. Waaye su soobee yàlla dinañ waxtaan loolu Tuesday. Today ñu concentrate on the facts yu ñu am in the Kanilai issue. Léegi dinaa njëkkee ne there's a failure of leadership. failure of leadership in different angles. More the executive, the political leadership, failure of leadership in the security area, the leadership in the security area, the armed forces, the security services, the intelligence services. It's a failure. It's not to react to incidents. Yes, more like the last form of security. The best form of security more to avoid threat. Avoid it, you anticipate. Avoid it, analyze situation and make sure putting the mechanism, putting the structures in there to avoid these things happening. Anticipate it because you have to have the knowledge. But knowledge assessed. How do you assess the whole? Where priority areas, where it is likely to happen. If it's likely to happen in Bakau, Serakuna or Banjul, who are the people involved? Assess every actors are listening lan la muna def to mitigate this crime boom. But to crime may be law def is important. But the best security dohna moine amuloko completely, avoiding a situation. There's always people ñu bëgg a taxaw pour de def dara. There will always be that. And moo tax soo gisee ñu am security foo amee the word security rek da nga am the potential of threat. Te nit ki daa doomi aadama foo munti nekk there's a potential of threat. Mu nekk si gànnaay mu nekk si all the forms of insecurity mu fa moo tax nag foog nit ki nga assessed especially as a state moo tax ñu am security apparatus yi. As a state, you am administration. As a state, you am a political leadership. And if all these people fail, or may not fail, the others should have catch the failure and alert the other and bring it on board, make sure boom up. Motamane, Tuesday, we'll go into detail. The problem, Lanai problem in Gambia. Lanai problem, what will Lanai problem li langa? Lana how can Is it an isolated incident or what? Moo tax suñ duggee si waxtaan bi nañ dugga si the bit of Kanilai, but the whole set of insecurity concerns yi nañ ko address, and then nañ address leadership, nañ address political leadership, nañ address civil society leadership, nañ address the leadership from the institutions yoo xam ne ñoo responsible for our security. And it's not of nekkut situation boo xam ne gisuñ ko ñun ñëpp gisoon nañ Kanilai. Everybody, not ñun mu xam security or not, Gambian yëpp xamoon nañ Kanilai na nekk problème rawatina politicians yi xamoon nañ ne Kanilai na nekk problème rawatina security head of security institutions yi army bi SIS. You see, the security services, moo tax soo gisee réew di am security service loolu la not pour them arrest the bully, no, pour nga alert yow nga nekk di intelligentsia pour inform information, inform the executive ne la hey be careful fii am na executive bi jël advice ne la what lu ñu war a def ngeen toog taxaw gaada waxtaan ko. Yes, we have to do something, we have to do it this way. Anticipate nañ ko. And failure bi tam suñ jógee si leadership is when you take over power da nga need to consolidate power. Have we consolidated power? No. Lan la consolidating power, you should ask ourselves. Because ñun xam nañ problème bi fi nekk xam nañ fu ñu war a consolidate bu ñoo take over power lan lañ use fan lañ dem fu ñu jaar. We went through certain areas because of fu dictator consolidate dañ dem to make sure the dictator unconsolidate himself in there muy armed forces bi muy traditional leadership muy ñu dem all these dimensions suñ dem those are the things we lacked defuñ ko. It's a question that to be asked. More than money, there's a failure of leadership. And last time, and what could anticipate? Gambia, we took over from a dictator. It was clear. So you from a dictatorship, then you'll take over from a problem. It's like taking over from a war-like situation. They got a war, but we were likely, almost demanding war. And everything move forward. Our Gambianness, more avoid war. Then when you take over, we should have make sure definitely everything that matters. And that one thing is the unity. How to bring the people together. How to keep the people together. A coalition. A coalition, use that coalition government and use the coalition partners to consolidate power, to bring the rest of Gambia together. Elections. After the first elections, we should have bring the Gambians together. After the parliamentary, we should bring the Gambians together. But a divided executive. A divided executive, we are showing weakness. We are showing weakness in leadership. And we have an enemy within. We didn't take out a democracy. We didn't take out a resemblance of democracy. We took out a dictator. Dictator boo xam ne two things. Dafa gëmloo certain people ne dañ war a rule forever. Dafa gëmloo certain people dañ have right to rule forever. Dafa defloo certain people. Dafa leen commit law crimes yoo xam ne these people xam ne they have to answer to these crimes. Dafa mean law certain people yaaxal leen corrupt leen dugal leen si corruption boo xam ne seen life luñ mënut a yeeloo luñ yeeloowul moom lañ dundee woon. These people want to go back to that. They will want to go back to that. They said these are the ticking time bombs. Whenever I say the ticking time bombs, but these are the ticking time bombs yoo xam ne ñun moom lañ am to deal with. Moo tax we have to be very careful. You use leadership. We have to use leadership in order to diffuse the insecurities. It's not about how much arms we have. It's not about how much soldiers we have. It's about the quality of soldiers we have, the quality of intelligence we gather, and the way we comport ourselves as leaders in executing our duties. How we represent ourselves. These are the issues you have ñun moom lañ war a laaj suñu bopp fossi nañ because dictatorship bi tam bu leen fàtte. Dictatorship génn na when we said we've been saying it from the beginning dictatorship dafa dem génn na but dictatorship bi si boppam génnaawul suñ biir because of actorship principles actorship system mechanism everything is still intact. We need to cut that cord out. Dañu war cut that cord out. Suñ cutee code bi out this is what we call the reforms. Dañu war dem into institutional reforms. Dañu war dem review those institutions those structures yu exist ñu xool ko. ñu dem review ko ñu génne ko reform ko and especially in the security industry apparatus ñu review ko reform the security industry make sure ne génne nañ all the criminals moo tax ñu war xalaatal tam we will talk about this so-called reconciliation is a farce. The reconciliation we need should be measured. Yes, what we need more these issues. That not can you consolidate. In fact, we have to consolidate power. In fact, your reconciliation, and the act of reconciliation is part of consolidating power. Part of consolidating power is reconciliation. Reconciliation, need Lola, not to the extent of this stood at the Reconciliation Commission boo xam ne might be a waste of money and might be misdirection loo xam ne lu ñoo def mooy excuse criminals and create a precedent boo xam ne these people will not learn from it. Gambians will not learn from it and would come back and haunt us. Moo tax nañ leen use due diligence use leadership come back together and use suñ boppa yi ñu dem the right way make sure you address the Gambian problems the right way. This dictator, we should go back. By now, we should say when is Yahya Jammeh going to be held accountable. It's about Yahya Jammeh being held accountable because ñu ngi jox that free space to Yahya Jammeh mu operate. We took a lot of time. Boo xam ne bu ñu ñëwee with the momentum when we have the momentum when the iron was hot ñu mënoon a strike. Ñu strike make sure ñu consolidate nañ power. Make sure we put these criminals beyond reach. Make sure they controlling the assets. Make sure they controlling the communication. Make sure they dominate the communication. And we control the narrative. And that's how we live in peace and stability. But suñ ñëwee di ngiroo ngaaroo suñ biir di ut nu ñoo consolidated power in the wrong way getting criminals in ourselves di contaminate suñ boppa di compromise suñ boppa what it does it's in fact joxing the criminal the dictator the power to infiltrate us because ñu ngi show sign of weakness now dictatorship bi suñu waxtaanee Tuesday we'll get to how to get him out of Equatorial Guinea. It's possible, and to give him headache. And let's look at facts. Suñu xoolee the facts. fu ne yan facts lañ am. Let's look at the keywords you present. Léegi-léegi from a distance, from afar, soo fekkewuloo ko, but from afar, nga dégg a story, nga dégg a narrative, you can pick what you know as real, what you know as fact, or what is mentioned loo xam ne mën ngaa relate to it or understand ko. am na yenn acte yoo xam ne you went there, you can't. You have to wait. Dégg nga one side, you have to wait for the other side. But di nga am daan independent person mooy di journalist or the living ñuy present wax la the both side of the story and wax la seen perspective, and then you make up from there. suñ xoolee the keywords here mooy fooñi, another keyword mooy Joola, the other keyword the Gambia Armed Forces, another keyword mooy the economic, another keyword mooy Senegal, another keyword mooy Kanilai, another keyword mooy demonstration, another keyword that mooy economic reaction, GAF and police reaction, the shooting, and social media, GAF reaction, police reaction, local journalist, information minister, the executive, and my party. Salam. And my father. These are the things you have as a fact. These are the principal actors in this. But Rinwa Ampo realized, and I will try to make a case here. This is not an isolated case. In nutshell, with APRC and the Gambia Armed Forces. Lot of money. So a few days ago, there's an incident I said about. It's not widely reported in the media. When a sergeant in the Gambia Armed Forces, some amount time, sergeant in the Gambia Armed Forces, then provoke. I think just a minute. I would have to see. I think I have the names. Johan Faxi about what happened that day. Solomon Balale, 1 minute just. Who just want what happened in Kanilai is like okay, just 1 minute. I'm going to just read the relevant part of it. Okay. Just give you the recent audio messages purportedly been uploaded by the Jammeh loyalists should never be taken lightly. It is a general feeling shared by almost 80% of the whole security forces in the country. I have said over and over again that the security forces should be purged to root out the die-hard Jammeh loyalists who are hell-bent on derailing any meaningful development. In the new government. Meaningful development. The new government want to embark on. A good example took place today at the state. Thank you. A good example took place today at the State House gates opposite the emergency unit of the Royal Victoria Hospital when one Sergeant Lamin Badji was openly insulting Senegalese troops under economic. Sergeant Lamin Badji openly, this happened a few days ago, openly insulting Senegalese, openly targeting, insulting, provoking the Senegalese troops. Insulting the Senegalese troops on the economic. He was seriously beaten up and arrested. Luckily, the Senegalese didn't respond. He was seriously beaten up by who? Loyal Gambian Armed Forces soldiers. He was, this is just a sign of what will befall this nation whenever the economic forces leave the country. The army is more like a militia tailored to serve a wicked dictator, where professionalism is not the yardstick to promote deserving officers and soldiers. I don't know why the CDS cannot understand this simple fact. and try to do justice to the general populace by stepping aside and allowing more seasonal army officers to help us. These ignorant and selfish enablers cannot still believe that Jammeh is gone for good. Continue making your investigation journalism to find out what I wrote. Quite so soon rather than later, a serious issue will come up and we will regret it. This was about 5 days ago. Let me check the date. It was Monday. This was Monday. This was Monday. This incident happened in Monday. You can see the systematic way these people could derail and keep this country insecure. Then we should have anticipated what happened in Kanilai in many forms. Like the keywords, phony. I was just saying it's not a phony issue. Because these people started in messaging, and we said that whenever insurgency is about to happen, it just doesn't happen. You message. Why do you message? You try to win the hearts and minds of people. Mange advised you very, very, very careful. You're very, very careful. Bottom line is democracy. One elected done, everyone should respect the verdict of the people. The ongoing bitterness with some APRC element is uncalled for, and as a nation, some of this audio read them on. Some of this, they are very smart with it. These are the same APRC, not only APRC, these are operatives. You have to know them, they gain voice notes. They pretend as civil society. They pretend as coalition supporters. They are not. They are APRC. Ñu ko def pour put a wedge between genuine civil society. I'm concerned with some of the wrongs we see with the government, or genuine supporters of the government who are voicing out, who are holding this government to account. Like ñu put a wedge. They pretend as to be one of us. Feka did it. Ñom sen is to instigate. It's to agitate the government. It's to try to bring discord, trying to win the hearts and minds of the people. Because in insurgency, you have to win the hearts and minds of the people in order putting on the platform to launch your insurgents. When you win the hearts and minds of the people, what happens is, then get them into provoking and agitate, try to provoke a reaction. And in this form, again, you are trying to win the hearts and minds of the people. And lan ngay def mooy yaa nga try to hold that strength of the person you agitate in the state. The strength of the state. The strength of the state here is economic, and the strength of this economic is Senegal. Now, if I target Senegal and get Senegal into trouble or make Senegal unpopular within the populace, within the Gambian people, then I would have a cause to start an insurgency. Mbokk moo tax ñu war a be very, very careful with this APRC, Bunjal APRC lightly. And we said this from the beginning. When you take over a dictatorship, and through a democratic process, ñun waxoon nañu one thing. Even when you take over a resemblance of democracy, when you take over a democracy, in fact, even a democracy, you have to have a system change. Because the reason you took over, because of danga dem jaay something there, it's not right, I'm coming to change something. And when incidents happen, when something like that happens, we have, we need legislation through parliament in a democracy, but legally, powers is vested on the president to come with pronouncements would be still constitutional. Put you the right to make sure that the effective tool to deal with the problem present. Up to the time, limitation, up to the time, for 3 months. Presidential, not a degree, what do you call it again? The word will come to me. Because we need to mitigate this. When the 7/7 happened in London, then emergency legislation to make sure that terrorists could be hold more than suspected act of terrorism, hold more than 72 hours. Why? Definitely for caveat, definitely for safeguard to make sure that cannot happen without the oversight of a judiciary of the judge. Then them say judge before external the period to hold this thing, and we have other control orders, other control mechanisms. Motam ñu ne su nekkee ne xam nañ ne parliament bi mënuñ ko am in time, we could still have the president come with pronouncements yoo xam ne would still be constitutional. Will still be democratic to make sure the security has been looked after. We don't have a phony problem. Because this is not a phony problem. But listen how smart these people are. They try to make it a phony problem. No, it's not a phony problem. It's not even a Kanilai problem. It's a criminals living in Kanila. It's all not whole of Kanilai you're dissatisfied with the government, not the whole of Kanilai you're a problem with the government. Then criminal elements, Nubuga, their way. Then it's not a phony problem. Why phony is so big? Why held in Kalaji? Why not held in Bondali? Why not held in Mayok? Why not held in Wasadu? Why not held in a lot of other places? But it happened in Kanilai, and Kanilai is for one of our help. In fact, so you have to say, Kanilai should have been run over. First days, run over. Gaining for all the Gambia, so-called Gambia armed forces, so-called, because they are loyalists to Gambia. Gaining to secure and economic to secure it, the institution we can be proud of to be called Gambia armed forces. From then we should have, we always remember what we have as an institution. It's not Gambia armed forces. It's not a Gambia armed force. We still need to reform that to have a Gambia armed forces. What we have is still the Malaysia that may left with us. But they need to withdraw out, and we need to do it responsibly. There are mechanisms, there are ways, there are procedures to follow to make sure I'm going to reform. Reform have to be done, then going to retrain, reconstitute what we need. It's a bloated army, we don't have the money to keep them, and it's in disciplined institution, they need to control. Then we don't have a phony problem. Why they are using phony? It's to gather support. Jola. It's not a Jola problem. No. When fighting a phony one, Yaya Jammeh, in fact, Lum Gena Torhan in Gambia Moy phony. I'll tell you that. Phony as the Deka, Mumla Gena Torhal than Don Combo or any other place. Because he took one thing they have is their land to feed from. He took their land and forced them to farm on that land. Nyata family safa Yaya Jammeh right. Then ñun amuñ problem with Jola, amuñ problem with phony. Luñ am problem with mooy the criminals ñu téewoon Yaya Jammeh ñu bañ Yaya Jammeh dem. Then bu ñu indeen Jola. Because and these criminals are all not Jola. Am nañ Pol, am nañ Olof, am nañ Socé, am nañ lépp. Criminal is a criminal amuñ tribe. Jikko la. Then ñun luñ war a def mooy pour avoid. They want us to be us and them. Buñ leen nangu us and them. Ñun la. Yes, we are us and them in a sense ne we Gambians, right? I mean Gambians who jub and ñoom Gambians who jubut, but not us as Gambians of other tribes did it. Gambians of other party did it. This is of us being Gambian citizens. You're responsible. At criminals yoo xam ne they are Gambian citizens and non-Gambians you're responsible. These are the divide. Bu lañ nangu ñu change narrative bi. This is the narrative we Gambians should keep. Another point, mooy the Gambia armed forces. The people present at Kanilai, they are not Gambia armed forces, they are the militia of Yaya Jammeh. Still now, we said this before, and that video that came out, they ngeen waaji lu mu wax waaji mu ngi agitate di leen ne ñoom bëgguñ écomoque fii ñoom du dëgga all these things. Who was that guy? That guy should be arrested. That guy should be taken out of that army. These are the people we told you dañ leen war a génne. When we say gaining some people in the army, these are the people danger. Tahaw. Si diggi the thing, he was comfortable because mu ngi foo xam ne, and I don't think that he is even Jola. That's the proof. Mu ngi taxaw mu ne ñoom seen boppa la gën a naxari mu ne ñoom soldat yooyu ñum liit mu ne ñoom la gën a naxari lu fi Sénégalais nekk on the land of the Gambia, not only Sénégalais économique lu mu nekk on the land of the Gambia te moom xam na lu tax ñun xam ne ña exécutif économique bu nekk la naxari and mu wax everything else loo xam ne it's not right bon ñooñu dañ leen war a pocc one ma gis GRTS the core major core something core dégg ngeen lu mu wax GRTS lu ma wax yëpp mu ngi mel ni he is already making a blame mu ngi already push ñun dara xew fi mu ne dara xewut with ñoom Gambia Armed Forces soldiers yu fa nekk those rebels dara xew fi ñun amuñ problème ak ñoom bu ñëwee fi ñun sutuñ leen fa no doo leen sut because of they are not threat to you ndig ñoom xam nañu you are not threat to them because yéen a bokk mbuus ndig yéen a bokk mbuus that corps major corps Salifu Corps I think major Salifu Corps mu ngi taxaw di wax GRTS news ne di jéem a wan ne mu ngi mel ne mu ngi bëgg a blame economic already loo xam ne mu ngi war dem under investigation mu ngi bëgg a blame economic ne ñoom fetaluñ kenn ñoom ñëw nañ fi defuñ dara the point is mooy ne lu tax defuñ dara because of ñoom dañ bëgg a di status quo of lan Yaya Jammeh because that major corps xam na ne in any sane institution du nekk a sergeant ba di nekk ay major dañ ñu wax ban officer school la dem pour nekk ay major to lead a company ndax kooku ku ko déggal lu mu wax ndax kooku nekk na koo xam ne war naa lead a section waaye moo tax those people will always be loyal to Yaya Jammeh they can never be loyal to the Gambian people those people di taxaw di dawal four-wheel drive yoo xam ne ñun xam nañ ne in fact in that army ñun in that country those four-wheel drive warut a daw loo xam ne government moo ko moom the government warut a afford those four-wheel drive Yaya Jammeh loolu la créé and more these people are loyal to Yaya Jammeh they can never be loyal to us they need to get out of that uniform and su nekkee committing crime they need to be prosecuted for the crimes they committed against Gambians moo tax ma ne reconciliation bu ñoo wax truth and reconciliation boobu they need to indi justice in this it's not reconciliation bu ñu war a def xam nañ ko but it's be naka victim centered moo tax ma ne Gambia Armed Forces is not fit for purpose la fa bari criminals yu fa nekk those are the criminals you have the problem with not the loyal people Gambia Armed Forces soldiers yu ñu am we come to the economy okay in every adventure boo dem in any deployment boo am amul zéro amul booy dem nga am zéro ñaaka commit a crime or something like that amul zéro but doesn't excuse any crime soo senee sa troops soo deploy sa troops soo at sa troops suñ munti nekka if they miss discharge suñ discharge a bal suñ discharge nag di jan discharge fetel sax te waruñoo fetel si ngelaw bi sax they will be accountable to it dina am foo xam ne dinañ answer to it they will answer to their command rawatina économique and especially Sénégal am nañ di professionalism and you can go to history military history nga xool Sénégal they serve in Lebanon they serve in Bosnia they serve in every major conflict in this world and right now they are serving on other places luñ munti def they will have to account to it te economic as an institution bu ñëw dañ am a mandate and mandate boobu dañ am loo xam ne would a check and balance yu leen amee moo tax bu ñëwee Sénégal di just involved they have other forces yooyu dañ leen fa def pour ñu represent to bii di check and balance to make sure ne Salifou thank you to make sure ne am nañ the right composition and make them accountable and transparent léegi incident bi xew na with economic lana tax the consultation is Senegal lana tax economic nekk fa and economic they are not even in Kanilai man moom a gën a naxal economic should have been in Kanilai day one why because of the mandate at the way they try to run this thing it's not going to work Then we redraw. I said it. We have to redraw the mandate of economic. Jocelyn, we don't have trust in the President Armed Forces. And the reforms we need, and the quality and the strength to reduce the size and disarm and make sure they're accountable. The armed forces is, then you release the armed forces and let them take the full responsibility of the sovereignty. But right now, we went and took a security guarantee. That security guarantee should mean what it is. Should be a security guarantee. Should be a security guarantee. But economic should be a tau confender. I'm not trying to tau confender. And they have been diplomatic. But better, I mean, been incident anywhere else we report economic for. So I'm an intervention. You have cases of lot of other cases. You have soldiers will do it. I mean, but this so far is one of the best deployment in any country. Is in fact zero reported of crime. They will bend unrest or anything, and all the agitation going on, guy need holds and discipline. Now, we don't know what happened in Kanfenda, because economic no what happened in Kanfenda. What threat la soldat bi am? When these people are not, they are peacekeeping troops. They are soldiers. They are not riot troops. So they may be fekalen in their garrison. So they may be fekalen, be duga to their. They have to defend themselves. That defense win def is it maximum? Minimum force la? I don't know. I wasn't there. Those are the things investigations you have done. I'm now yakar. I'm not confident that the government will make sure that these investigations are done. But the person, these people went on so-called, it's not a demonstration, it's an agitation, then them who destabilize the peace and tranquility of a country because of them through the rule of law. They should apply rule of law. Put them through the rule of law. It's a democracy. Put make sure that them demonstration. Let us not fall for this. The first videos we saw, they are the videos they want us to see. They will not show us videos they don't want us to see. You want to be very careful of what happened. Balanyo am narrative, balanyo defend anything else, then defend on facts. What do we know? What transpired? Yes, we have to empathize, we have to sympathize. Can water they see any action. But people have to be accountable for their actions as well. Soldiers are accountable, but the civilian would them provoke. Therefore, all responsible for that action. Then Desna, an independent arbitrary, mutaw johnyu the verdict. Motatam you order the local journalists, you taw definitely, and we'll get there. Senegal, as I said, addressing both Kanilai, addressing Kanilai. Kanilai is a place of interest. Yes, Tuesday we'll talk about consolidation. Kanilai should have been consolidated. And the leadership failed to consolidate Kanilai, and you give back Kanilai Muneka a problem matter. Kanilai should not be a problem matter. It should have been consolidated at the beginning when it's the thing. And to consolidate is not about power. It's about you use the negotiation skills, you use the intelligence here, them penetrate, devise, ways, they'll advise, use our traditions. Use Kalyak, Sanakuya, and everything. People from Nyomi. We can take alkalis from Nyomi. Some of them are Serere. Some of the people, Watana alkali. But some of these alkali, we know they are criminals themselves because Fulmota dictate to be violent. If it's Fulmota, all these things need a thought process. They need to devise something, but don't talk like they are. Don't talk like they are. We have to approach this. It's not by the mighty of your gun or the soldiers you have. Then I'm the structure, that's the right thing. The demonstration was wrong. It wasn't within rule of law, the agitation. Tell Lanata, when the Binta that lady could have video it. That Binta girl in America. When they video it, the penny drop. This was organized. A week ago. In fact, he should be charged for inciting violence. He should, DC office, we're going to investigate this person and make a case with the Fed. We make a case with the Fed ne mu ngi incite violence in the Gambia. Just as they make a case against the 30th December. This is inciting violence. Binta Kujabi, thank you. This Binta Kujabi. They need the DC embassy, new them, with the Fed, report to the Fed, report her to the Fed, ne mu ngi incite violence in the Gambia. They mom admit na ne mom mu ngeew xam mom a week ago. Moo tax ma ne this was planned. Tuesday will tell you. I mean, it was planned. So the people, the way they came out, the way they formed themselves, it was not spontaneous. It wasn't spontaneous. There are many reasons to next economic war in Franca. The economic there, then with a mandate. They have people of interest. They have an institute. They have property of interest. They have property districts of interest in their motor economic network. Lan la ñoo demonstrate. These people represent Nyomi. This Asafala, not Nyomi. How are you causing me to call Nyomi out? Represent Nyomi. These people represent Foni, sorry. These people represent Jola. These people represent Gambians. They are criminals. Why did I say this? Where were they when Gambians were killed? Where were they when Fonikas were killed? Where were they when this dictator was robbing our country? Where were they when everything was going wrong? Lanata Musinyo demonstrate when the dictator was around. Man waxuma ne kenn bu mu demonstrate ku bugg a demonstrate demal tout nga def sa peaceful demonstrate. Su la neexee bul jël permit sax waaye defal peaceful demonstration is a democracy. I'll support you and I'll back you. The best bu fi security force defee anything against any person regardless of law munti bokk foo affiliate on, I will come and defend you. It's a democracy. But su nekkee ne dangaa dem pour agiter loo xam ne is trying to destabilize the country, dinaa taxaw fii ne la ne shouldn't happen because of represent local. We know what happened to our Fonikas. Amul tribe bu ñu laalut Foni, amul family bu ñu laalut Foni. In fact, the family of Yaya Jammeh si boppam lañ gën a laal. And how many elders been insulted and everything else. Yéen taxaw leen musa defend loolu ba tey ngeen bëgg a taxaw pour defend ko in this new democracy, bëgg a use the excess of democracy. moo tax ma ne leen ne the demonstration is illegal. ECOMOG naka lañ reacté. We yet hold back. We yet to know exactly naka lañ reacté. luñ xam rek mooy ne somebody dee na fa. bu lana tax soldat boobu gis the need or soldat yooyu gis the need to open fire, we don't know. We don't know the threat level because dañ leen fekk seen garage look, it's not that these people went out to demonstrate and the economic came to deal with them. No. It's not an economic mandate to deal with demonstrators. Economic, they never within. Did we ask ourselves, so these people, we don't know who they are in fact, since them on to the extent of economic relax, the Bugajai in the democracy, and they snatch weapons from economic and turn that weapon onto economic soldiers. Do you know what that how expensive that is? Remember when the Americans withdrew from Somalia, it was a similar scenario. So they may punch a hole like that. You punch a hole in the confidence of the security. Then they humiliate the security, they humiliate Senegalese, they humiliate economic, and that didn't what confidence nyom that they can do more. We could be very careful. Senior hall, if we don't even have the expertise, if we don't understand what security is, you have the narrative from the other side. Because of nyom them utali economic then you gain who are they? So those people are legally sitting there. Who are they to go and confront them? Economic no confront them. Economic demon can confront them. Economic demon talibi stop can demonstrate. Why nyom am the audacity to go and fake a new arm, neka sen living new defense and boba. We were not there. We don't know the threat the people are dissing, and mistakes do happen. Probably it's a mistake, I don't know. Probably it's intentional. But one thing I know, any weapon, these economic soldiers, the smallest would be a 9mm. The 5.5 or the rifle, the 5.52 or 7.72. All those those ammunitions su nekkee ne they intentionally want to kill anybody at point blank range kuñ shoot you will die there, you will not be taken to hospital. Then mun nañoo even using hell ne the intention of that shooting might be accident or might be a precaution to control. But it wasn't meant to kill any demonstrator because suñ bëggoon a rey at that hotspot lañ doon dee bu Yaya Jammeh bëggee rey suñ doom yi ak suñ brothers yi at April 10, 11 it was on the hotspot lañ leen rey. Or that you can't do for Gina disabled law. But look for how we don't know. Let's wait for that verdict, that narrative to come. The reaction of the Gambia Armed Forces. Gis nañ ko taxaw nañ gis nañ lu nekk di wax. These people are loyal to the dictator, and they will always be loyal to the dictator. And it's not about tribe. It's not about tribe. It's about interest. It's about interest. They want to agitate. Yes, they want to agitate ECOMOG to leave. And if ECOMOG leave, what happened? They have their field day. They have their field day. More political leadership, and we'll talk about this Tuesday. Into it, but Tuesday, I'm time to go. One way is to use the civil disobedience to start an insurgency. The other way is a targeted attacks. You have naam. I mean, that's what you do is you start from escalate the movement of what you do. You win confidence, but you influence the outcome of it. We'll get to that bit. These are it's not isolated incidents. It's not about Kanilai. It's not about others. It's about criminals, and they need to be dealt with. The reaction of the police officers, PIU because they went there and they used baton and they control. These are the people who don't want to attend. And they have never done anything wrong with them. And they're going to arrest you. It's right. People should be arrested and be accountable for their act. Because of definitely breaking the rule of law. If we call in rule of law for the security arm for the economic or other forces, let's call for rule of law on Gambian citizens. It's a democracy. Everybody, Lafawara, abide by the rule of law. While you get the law into our own hands, the security forces, while you get the law into their own hands, they mean the people, while you get the law into their own hands. The social media. We should be very careful with social media. What a government be. Very careful with social media. It's very powerful. Because it's more fighting social justice. Social media for you jox leen doole. But it's the same time, the criminal social media for leen jox doole. Moo tax we government should be very careful. A fragile society, suñ dëkk bi mu ngi fragile. Since we got to be very careful. We don't know who is talking on these voice notes. Degala, you know, I'll take this government to account. About vice president, I'll take them to everything wrong. About the perception of corruption or nyaka structures and everything, I will hold them account. But then move to social media, bring cloud on certain people hijack rightful position of tahaw to hold this government to account. Pour empathy from us. You need them better how for it's actually helping them to destabilize the country. This is not what we fought for. The new thing family fight for. The solution you hold this government to account. We fight for a certain type of government. The dictator use the militants of the APRC and the armed forces, criminals in the armed forces. They use voice notes. They represent Senbopa as civil society, represent Senbopa as coalition supporters, to mock our leadership, to insult our leadership, to accuse our leadership. So some of this thing that never happened. And then you are going to. Let us analyze. Let us not overanalyze Gambia. Look, Gambia is unique. Mun nañoo jël parallels, but we get to be very careful, especially if we don't have the experience. Man waxuma ne ñu nekk security ñoo am the security experience. No, it's a matter of am experience in any other way. Nañ leen moytu. Especially with security, suñ bëggee dem deep into security, bëgg a analyse, bëgg a jël Southern Sudan, bëgg a jël all the places to equip to Gambia, it's wrong. Nick, I will tell you, and when we said it, I can remember when I said it, ne wow, Yaya Jammeh kanilay la yakar, mu fa am ay fetal, mu fa am ay bunker and everything, manelen ne. Su Yaya Jammeh yakare kanilay, I'll be very happy because of that. We will walk in the park, because it's easy to get them out there. Te bu kenn foog ne, there's a spillover or position. Senegal doesn't. For a man in customer. No, these people don't def moy dañ bëgg use Kanilai as a safe haven. Dañ bëgg use Kanilai as a base. But they don't want to hold on to Kanilai. Luñ bëgg def moy dañ bëgg cause an insurgency boo xam ne they will have a base bu ñu operate from. Because of then they will have the border and they have the because a base that need the drop bag. They need a drop bag because of Kanilai will give them a drop bag to Casamas. And Casamas borders for powers. You can still smuggle things, you can move in and out to launch guerrilla warfare. But though launch guerrilla warfare in Kanilai, it doesn't give you anything. There are no installations, there are no assets in Kanilai or Hamne are detrimental to the government. No. They would use it, but they would penetrate to institutions and to where the economy is, to destabilize, to make the country ungovernable. This is their threat. And Tuesday will so in social media people ñu nekk di jaay lii people ñu nekk di jaay lii ngeen fàttali ko who are these people? These are the people that don't want a new government. These are people who don't want democracy because they will be accountable. We will hold them accountable. They are in the diaspora here. moo tax ñu war a bàyyi xel ñun suñ nekk social media at lu ñoo def moo tax tam at the same time the people ñu taxaw di support government bi for anything lu government di def rek ñu ne baax na lu mu def ñu ne baax na te óor na la ne ñoom ne baaxut. This is what it create dafa tax ñu am weakness ñu ne neen ñu war a liggéey together duñ mën a liggéey and people will put weight in us léegi ñoom ñu am support moo tax ñu suñ nekkee social media tam nañ leen careful. Su benn nit taxawee wax on behalf of Joolaa represent Joolaa let us not go bu ñu lu into that dañ ñu bëgg a ndax ñun ñu saaga Joolaa then mu nekk between us and the Joolaa buñ ko nangu we could be very responsible. This Binta Kujabi he's am na lu moo def de xam na lu moo def te lu ñoo seen media messages yëpp xam nañ lu ñoo def is they are not doing it am na ku leen wax lu ñoo def. Buñ saaga fooñi buñ preach violence. Violence it's not the answer. Security is not about violence. Mun nañoo am luñ bugga nuñ mun defee ba génne Yaya Jammeh foofu moom nañ mun a def ba am réew mi nuñ ko bëggee. If these people are worth anything Yaya Jammeh du doon génn réew moomu. If these people were worth anything Yaya Jammeh would have fight or dinañ doon fight because dañ leen overwhelmed with our Gambianness. Then overwhelmed with our Gambianness. Let's keep that Gambianness. Let's keep that togetherness. Then you using intelligence here. You make sure that you consolidate power in Foni. And you break all those barriers. Buñ nangu ben artificial barrier nekk fa amuñ barriers in Gambia. Amuñ that barrier in the Gambia. We should not allow it. Buñ nangu dictator bi nax ñu. It's not about ne la fa am waa Foni. It's not about ne dafa am waa Kanilai yu jóg pour no they are criminals. Why ñuy wax ne let's go and bomb them? Why let's go and use force? Force is not the answer to it. am na fa force di ñëwee but it got to be responsible. But lu ñu war a use mooy governance dañu war a use governance good governance dañu war a use pour def ko leadership la ñu war a def and the leadership is lacking to be quite honest with you. The local journalists moo tax gis nga the interesting ITV iMedia this thing and other yes we shouldn't call them any names. It's just helping the dictator. Dafa help dictator buñ push kenn towards them ñoom support lañ bëgg support lañ bëgg moo tax ñuy jéem a wax fooñi ñuy jéem a wax all these things di jéem a indi all the issues yoo xam ne yeah there are issues ñu ngi bëgg a indi fi nawek into this ñu ngi bëgg a indi they are rightful issues but it's not for them to say it su soobee yàlla we'll address them. We'll address the nawek problem. We'll address all these things. One, joblessness. Yes, Ibu Jallo is going on campaigning joblessness, campaigning nawek and all these things. Ibu Jallo mo gëna xam lu mo def. And joblessness, it cannot be solved in 3 months. Nawek, it cannot be solved in 2 years. I'll tell you that. But am na loo xam ne interim mën nañ koo def to keep moo tax loolu yëpp laaj na government bi defuñ ko am na lu ñu war a def but pour ne promise ne dañoo solve that problem in 3 years is not true. Even to have an energy policy in 6 months, it's an achievement. Energy policy, but am na interim measures yu ñu mën a def. But we are failing in what? Communicating. The information minister, Dear Jao, I feel sorry for him. Because so running an open government, young new Tekla as an information minister. And that's why I always try to make this point. Gambia dañ am pour innovate. We have to be innovative. Gambia dañ war holding Bopa as unique because of our population size, our regions, naka lañ interrelated. We can communicate in a more effective manner. We don't have natural barriers like we don't have mountains, we don't have lakes. We have to cross to go to it. No, most of these things are you can reach any side of the Gambia within 6 hours, anywhere in the Gambia. Forget remote. Then why are we having problem communicating? Because willfully we don't want to communicate, especially government don't want to communicate. Let's talk about innovative mind. We took the First Republic. The way they set the ministries, ñu ñëw dictator bi def ko, and ñu ñëw as a new democracy with suñ awareness and everything, ñu dem maintain the same thing. I keep on saying a point here. The new age of information, we expect information to come from the executive. Passing information minister be more in the information. Information minister should be about regulatory and other forms of communication. The communication we ask for should be the press secretary at the president's office. More and the ministries and press secretary they will update the press secretary of the 24 hours news. We should do that. We should do that. Because it's sad I'm the information minister. I don't blame him. And he's right so Hamud. But so nekkee information minister nag xamuloo di dem di wax ne xawma yaa ngi indi sa bopp into disrepute. Then it's best not to come. Also ñëwee try to get something to come with. Or nga xoolaat sa bopp nga ne look, this is not working. It's not working. Moo tax ma ne the information minister, he's doing well. Mu ngi ñëw uyu si nit ñi, we welcome that. But uyu si nit ñi tam te ñëwloo with information is not the point. And we are happy that you are honest enough to tell us ne hamulo or amuloko. And many incidents so you hamulo amuloko because you wahunga. Because the setup bolen is wrong. Setup bolen war am moy the press secretary at the president's office. Muna lease up with all the departments. Anything we have would go straight to the press secretary. Press secretary am the office. They would prepare the information and go straight away. Come on there, brief the president and agree on what to give the people, inform people, control the narrative. More nekadi more gonna shift. But we don't know the setup in Gambia right now, and it's call for concern. Information and information can be improved. The executive, we expect the president to speak to us. We expect the president to address us. Yes, the president will address periodically through the regularly, in fact, through the press secretary, but periodically, president will communicate with us, especially in the time of uncertainty, in the time of crisis. They need reassurance from the president. Especially cabinet and siganawa. This is my cabinet, this is the executive, these are the people that represent you people, these are the people that you vote for, these are the people that have the legitimate right to give the narrative. Speculation. We expect the president. In fact, president would work again at the Kabi. It was an opportunity for him. One night assure the Kabi. Let us not just take granted that we have economic in the country. The Kabi for stable now. At certain things, our security, we will not say this on media, but I think we will share it with the government. Only the presence of economic in the Gambia doesn't mean that we have security. Economic then have a mandate, and we have give these people the understanding mandate economic, and they're testing the ground. mbokk yi suñ xoolee loolu mooy ni executive, I mean, look, let's not shy away from communicating as we can. Baro su ko neexee laa ko Pël, su ko neexee laa ko Soosu, su ko neexee laa ko Olof, faalewul. He's not talking to the international community, he's talking to us. The international community, luñ bëgg a xam Gambie ñu ko xam. I'll tell you, every embassy in that country mu ngi am intelligence and they tap into information everywhere else. Baro ñun lay reassure Gambians. Te Baro déggal nañ ko mu laa ko angale dang angale yooyu doy nañu bëgguñ any big words or anything nañu wax luñ mën a déggal. And if he can brief the international community, if he can brief his counterparts, why not brief Gambians? Let's just not keep Barrow away from us. He's our president. We voted for him. We fought and make sure the government is our government. We want to support that government, but we cannot support that government so you have information to support the government. We cannot support the government if we don't know where the government, how much vision, how much food direction the government is going. But the executive or the demand on the executive, in fact, let them do the right thing and come and speak to us. Barrow voted again as without telling us. Bravo to my party coming out to speak to us. Tengen Balama, because of what happened yesterday in London. I switched off in a sense from Gambia, and now you don't monitor what was happening because Ken Hamilton, the extent where it was going, and still now because we're still involved in the security industry here, it's a concern to us. Our life, our job and everything. We have to switch off from Gambia. And Subasi at one time, because we knew we had to deal with some of these things. Everything, my fatwa, digging bits of it, reading bits of it, and right so address as the interior minister. But there's a problem in the executive. When you want to talk, the problem we have to wait for the interior minister to come back. Who is overseeing the Minister of Interior? And let us mistake the justice to look over the interior ministry. No. These two, they are rivals in a sense. We cannot afford to take the interior minister to look after justice. Because justice is to police the interior ministry. Then, my father is again in the why you talk hard, my father munyo. That's not wrong. That's completely wrong. Interior Minister, la for them ligay, flum nekal for important. It should be equally important. Should be equally important than water them. Because then at the time of austerity. Then later Gambia, the war have my father for munipsi, for Gambia ham readable. We have the Gambia Armed Forces spokesperson, we have the CDS, we should have the president, we should have all the people work on behalf of any incidents. These are the weaknesses these people are capitalizing on. They're one corner. One corner. What buñ leen toppa di support government bi and support leen on everything else. Du ñoo wax ni it's not ngaaña. It's not bad. Kula buga rek mo la ne sangul, ku buga sa tar rek mo la ne sangul. We care about this government. Mota ñun ñoy na government we want to see you better. It's our government and it's our right as citizens. It's a democracy and this is what we call for. We wouldn't call for violence. We don't want anything different. We want to build on these institutions. So we say you want the institutions, we want to build on them. Mota, it's important and the executive tahaw. And soon Tuesday we'll have time to look at my party Luma. I'm not allegations you my party def nako. As I said, probably mom as a minister, I'm the briefing from his intelligence here, I'm the briefing from the people on the ground. Mom Nuna, and we have to take it. We have to take it for the value of the minister. But we were waiting to all the actors ñoo xam ne ñoo fa nekk pour safeguard interests of the civil society and the people. As the minister tam mu am role am mooy di other journalists, investigating journalists and other people to taxaw pour wax ñu the narrative. What sort of threat la economic amoon? Why did economic behave the way they behave? Why did they, is it self-defense or not? Loolu war nañ ko wax. And we welcome my party coming out and speak to us, but waruñoo na xaar pour mu ñëw wax nañu. And on a conclusion, as more tape bi wato yaaga Tuesday nañ juga into all this. Just to conclude, lu may wax mooy the democratization of the country is what we fought for. The democratization of the country with social justice mooy mun a indi lasting peace and prosperity in that country and any other country is have been proven. And in this process we have to go through the rule of law. We have to go through the rule of law. Moo tax ñun pare nañ pour defend democracy. Come May 1. We fought for democracy and our people put their life, gave their life for democracy. Then duñ ñëw ba am democracy tam nangu criminals bu ko taxaw jël that democracy yaaxal ni ko duñ ko nangu. But in the process of it tam duñ nangu benn institution jël the campaign on the rights and of the citizens duñ ko nangu. Démocratie boobu su soobee yàlla nañ ko taxawal moo tax tam ñuy laaj government bi di laaj di executive ñu taxaw dellu to their mandate legitimize seen bopp through the democratic process nañ use the rule of law nañ dem through our constitutions moom lañ am fu mu ne nii and work on the reforms that we mandated them to do and ñu delluwaat to that collectiveness ñu génnee di segregation boo xam ne mu ngi dem within government ñu ngi am Mai Fatty ñu ngi am Barrow ñu ngi am Lawyer Darboe ñu ngi am Amat Bah as a team ñu ngi am Oje Jallow probably isolated ñu ngi am Halifa Sallah isolated ñu ngi am Aïssatou Touré isolated ñu ngi am Haider Gomez isolated. When we have them all together it was beautiful, it was confidence. These are the weaknesses yoo xam ne ñu ngi koo am and these people want to let's have a regular cabinet meeting, let's have a regular cabinet, let's see our cabinet together. Lii part of the democracy la that part of the democratization ñu indi reforms yi def lu ñu war a def and reforms yi especially in the armed forces boobu dañ ko war a reform and su soobee yàlla nañ waxtaan about the reforms of the armed forces in the Tuesday dañ ko war a def and we have to rethink about this reconciliation. We have to reconcile because we have to consolidate. In form of consolidation, reconciliation part of it. But the TRC bu ñoo wax nañ ne ko think about. Let us not then buñ dem waale rek dem Freetown jël seen set up indi ko. We are completely unique. Our problems is different from Freetown. We don't have tribe against tribe. We don't have people against people. We have criminals against victims. Léegi victims yi dañ war a make sure ni ñu xool victims yi lan lañ laaj for the justice they ask for ñu dem through that process to heal and address this problem make sure bu mu amaat but buñ dem through any fraud process boo xam ne dina tax these things they repeat and they let criminals of the hook bu boobaa ñu moytu there are risks there are risks associated with luy nekk di xew. I said it's not an isolated incident and it's not a demonstration. This is a part of face law. They have done the messaging through their WhatsApp, Viber and Facebook and everything. And now they started doing their work by agitating us and agitating the people, trying to win the hearts and minds. Sharp horns, it's a local weapon of not yes Minister Interior mentioned other we are having traditional arms. It's true and others have. Yes, Samba Jallow, a renowned MP ko xamne am nañ ko respect torop during the dictatorship and now am nañ ko respect. He said sharp horns it is a local weapon or not if yes Minister Interior mentioned others were having traditional arms. It's true as others were hanging sharp horns here. So thank you our modern information and so the Honorable MP Jallow waxe I will take it from him. And sharp horns, as I said, nekkul ne nit ki amul fetel amul weapon. What weapon at what threat? Because of the security have to assess their threat. Their safety first. I'll tell you, any security safety first before others. So when you guarantee your safety, then you cannot guarantee safety for others, especially when for hostile no. They don't know what's behind it. Because I'll tell you another thing do happen. Insurgencies, what they do, they might bring a crowd to the installation. If they want to take over an installation, they might bring a crowd to confuse. The soldiers will not fire onto the crowd, to confuse, to engage and distract the soldiers, to concentrate on them, whilst on the flanks or other things, insurgents are coming to attack them. We have experienced that in theater, we have experienced in Libya and other places. Their tactics, probably they judge or assess, and probably the reactions are most of insurgency. We don't know. Moo tax ma ne fa need a review, and we have to be looked after. Moo tax bu ñu taxaw rek ne rey nañ nit war ñoo rey nit non kooku lu mu fa doon def we have to kooku tam fa am pour jël account for it dañ am pour be accountable. We cannot take the law in our own hands. Dëkk bi fa war am loi. And mbokk yi there are risk of association with this, and su boobaa Tuesday nañ xool the risk of the international. Nañ bàyyi xel international is watching, and ñu bàyyi xel ne the will of the people. ñu xalaat the will of the people. buñ nit ñi dañu jox free will dañu joxe social, it's a social contract. Mun nañ koo jël many ways. Buñ nangu mu dal la. And just to close this video, maa ngi ñaanal the gentleman ku bëggee na dem yal na ko yàlla xaare àddina, yal na ko yàlla jégal si weeru koor gi. At ñu intend on ñoo xam ne ñu ngi leen mislead, maa ngi ñaan yàlla wécci seen xel oo ñu intend pour yaakaar dëkk boobu oo déstabilise dëkk boobu, maa ngi leen ne ñaan yàlla wécci seen xel. And those criminals in the armed forces, ñu ngi leen a woon ne one thing they can do is to come out and own up, and Gambians will treat them with justice. The justice, mercy, amnesty, but they have to come and own up and make sure you preserve the peace and stability of that country. Maa ngi ñaan the leadership to come out and show leadership. Maa ngi ñaan the Gambian diaspora, the sophisticated diaspora that stood and fought and liberate that country and helped and liberate that country. Maa ngi ñaan ñu dellu to their sophistication. Ñu wax dëgg foo dëgg am. ñu bañ bu ñu undermine, buñ dugal wedge ci biir. Suñ taxawee di jël account of the government, buñ ñëw jàppee isolate ñu ne ñun APRC lañ di merloo certain people. Some people are ñu ngi fall for it, ñu ngi mer ba now they are looking for anything lu bon pour government ñu wax ko, which is not right. War nañoo mën a keep suñ cool buñ jël personnel suñu nit pour puté personnel sax yee benn laf koo def dafa bëgg a job, benn laf koo def dafa bëgg a job pour programme, benn laf koo def whatever it is, bu ko benn jël personnel nañ xool ne koofu laf ñoo agité. But lu ma ñaan tam mooy these people ñun muy support government bi nañ leen waxante dëgga, ñu wax dëgg government bi dëgga, the point areas ñoo wax lu jar a wax. But maa ngi ñaan government bi ñu communicate, ak communicate bi lu si important not only lu ñu wax wala lu ñoo def, ñu control the expectation of people. War nañ koo def from the beginning, we failed, but mun nañoo reset button si waaye nag lu ko mun a def mooy ñu déggoo mànkoo ñëw nekk di unit bu ñu nekkoon address the nation. Président bi taxaw am cabinet, whole cabinet am gannaaw moo address nation bi, ñu reset button si ñu dellu ñu joxante respect, jox Halifa respect, OJ respect, Ousseynou respect, everybody joxante respect. Waaye su nekk ni ñoomi neen mënuñoo joxante respect, we don't expect seen supporters yi joxante respect. mbokk yi waxtaan bi fa lañ ko emal ba beneen yoon, but we hope ne Gambians yi nañ come to our senses buñ nangu. Ben, I have a question why it is in Fonyi, Kanilai and Jolas, not anywhere in the Gambia. If there is answer, a solution to the problem will be found. Yes, as I said, probably Honorable MP, you came late. There is a valid problem, question there. Why is it Kanilai? Because of the Kanilai government, the dictator used Kanilai as a base. Use Kanilai as a base and in fact Kanilai dañ ko bëgg a transform as a base for their insurgency. maa ngi ne Gambia government bi xool ne there's an insurgency about to happen and they want to use Kanilai as a base. léegi moo tax ñu bëgg a di the economic to be out of Kanilai so that they can bring their people and move around freely and do what they want. And Gambia, no go area without Amat. We accepted that in the interest of peace, ñu am ko during the dictatorship, some areas in Fonyi, opposition bi bañ faa dem. Ragaluñ bañ faa dem lig bañ nañu ekati coow. Why not? In a democracy, we should not allow that. We should not allow that. But it's not about dollars. It's not about dollars in Fonyi. Kanilai, you don't know how many people migrated from other areas and come and part of the life in Kanilai. It was Yaya Jammeh created that, where people don't have to work for what they do, and people can be hedonist lifestyle now. Sangara dañ ko naan, dinañ tux taay, dinañ jël drogue, dinañ tëddaa jigéen fu mu leen neexee, nu mu leen neexee, waxtu bu mu leen neexee. I mean, that was the utopia bu mu leen jox. Soldaar yi am nañ doole def leen ne for his security. Jox leen lampa, jox leen everything. You don't pay bills or anything. Moo fa amoon. Moo tax mu nekk Kanilai. But it's not ne Jolaay la now. It's people, criminals. So xoolee soldaar bi fa nekk, most of them are not Jola. They are from other areas. Waxoon nañ ne the last time the Salif Corps and others. They get Salif Corps, but these are sympathetic to the dictator. They would have never been officers who didn't go to the dictator. And others ñu fa, but du foofu rek ñu ngi feneen. Okay, thank you very much. It took a long time on this video. Well, so Tuesday, I don't know time. We'll try and arrange with Charles, Selector, and other team on Fatu Network. And just to come probably 2 hours, very call. Sumamboki Jola is seriously, Ragaluma very call. It's just Damabuga recharge battery like on spirituality and other things. And just take a rest. But Nenyo probably 2 to 3 hours just to address the issues. Thank you very much, Jerry Jeff.